Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Practice Lab, the podcast where we help you stop studying English and actually start using it. I'm Sarah.
And I'm John. Super glad you're here with us today. Whether you're on the bus, washing dishes, or lying on your bed pretending to be productive.
No judgment here, because honestly, just listening to English right now is already a step forward.
That's true. But today, we're going to push you a little further because the topic of this episode is something every single one of our listeners has struggled with at some point.
We're talking about that moment. You know the one. Someone asks you a question in English, and suddenly your brain just stops, like a loading screen that never loads.
Exactly. You know the word, you've studied the grammar, but when you open your mouth, nothing comes out. Or maybe something does come out, but it's not what you meant at all.
Today's episode is called Stop Thinking, Start Talking, and we're going to dig into why this happens, what's really going on in your brain, and most importantly, what you can do about it starting today.
So stay with us until the end, because we've got practical exercises, real talk, and maybe even a little challenge for you.
Also, if you enjoy this episode, please hit that like button and share it with a friend who's learning English. It genuinely helps us grow. All right, John, let's get into it.
Okay, so Sarah, let's be honest with our listeners. This freezing problem, it's incredibly common. I'd say almost universal among English learners. But why does it happen?
Great question. And the answer might surprise you. It's not because your English is bad. It's not because you haven't studied enough. The freeze happens because of how we process language under pressure.
Right. Think about it this way. When you speak your native language, you're not thinking about grammar. You're not mentally checking if your verb tense is correct before you say it. You just speak.
Exactly. But when we speak a second language, especially as learners, we run what I call the triple check. Before each sentence, we check the vocabulary, the grammar, and the pronunciation, all at the same time, while someone's waiting for us to answer.
And that's just way too much for your brain to do at once. So it crashes, like when you open too many tabs on a slow laptop.
That is literally what it feels like. And here's the other big thing. Fear. Fear of embarrassment. Fear of saying something wrong and sounding silly. Fear of not being understood.
I remember when I was first learning Spanish, I was terrified to order food at a restaurant because I kept imagining the waiter laughing at me.
And did anyone laugh?
No, of course not. The waiter just nodded and brought me my food. And I realized the whole drama was happening entirely inside my head.
This is so important. Most of the judgment we fear, it's not real. It's a story we tell ourselves. And that story is the biggest obstacle between you and fluency.
So the first shift we need to make is mental. You have to understand that the goal of speaking is not perfection. The goal is connection, communication, getting your idea across.
And here's the truth. Native speakers make mistakes constantly. They say, they forget words, they start a sentence and change direction halfway through, and nobody thinks less of them for it.
So give yourself the same grace you give native speakers.
Okay, so now we know why the freeze happens. Let's talk about the thinking trap itself, because this is where most learners get stuck for years.
The overthinking trap goes like this. You want to say something, so you mentally draft the sentence in your native language first. Then you try to translate it word by word into English. Then you check it for grammar errors, and by that point, the moment is gone.
It's like trying to drive a car while reading the instruction manual. You can't do both at the same time effectively.
So what's the solution? You have to flip the process. Instead of thinking first and talking second, you practice talking first and thinking later.
Now, I know that sounds backwards, but here's the thing. Fluency is built through repetition and muscle memory, not through analysis. The more you speak, even imperfectly, the more automatic it becomes.
It's exactly like learning to drive. At first, you're consciously thinking about every single action. Check mirror, signal, turn the wheel, brake gently. But after a few months, you just drive without thinking.
And speaking works the same way. When you practice enough, your brain builds pathways, automatic routes from thought to word. But you can only build those pathways by actually speaking, not by studying more grammar charts.
So the first practical thing you can do is this. Give yourself permission to speak badly. Seriously. Today, find one moment where you speak English, even just a few sentences, and you do not stop to check yourself. You just let it come out, messy and all.
Say the wrong tense. Use a simple word instead of a fancy one. Describe things with gestures in your mind. Whatever it takes, just keep talking.
The editing comes later. The speaking comes first.
All right, let's get practical. John, what are 3 tools our listeners can use immediately to break out of the overthinking trap?
Great. Tool number 1. I call it the running commentary. Basically, you narrate your own life in English. Whatever you're being, describe it out loud.
So like, while you're making breakfast, you say something like, I'm putting water in the kettle. The coffee smells really good. I'm looking for my mug. Ah, there it is.
Exactly. It sounds simple, even a little silly, but this exercise trains your brain to produce English in real time without preparation. It removes the planning step completely.
And the beauty is, no one is judging you. You're in your own kitchen. Your mug doesn't care if you said put instead of placed.
Exactly. Tool number 2, phrase anchors. These are short, flexible phrases that you memorize and can drop into almost any conversation to keep things moving.
Things like, that's a good point. Let me think about that. What I mean is, actually, I'm not sure. To be honest with you,
these phrases do something powerful. They give your brain a few extra seconds to catch up while your mouth keeps moving. You don't go silent. You don't freeze. You use an anchor and keep going.
native speakers use these all the time. They're not fillers, they're bridges. And the more you practice them, the more natural your speech sounds.
Tool number 3, the 1-minute sprint. Every day, set a 1-minute timer. Pick any topic, your weekend, your job, your favorite food, anything, and you talk for the full 60 seconds without stopping.
No pausing to translate. No stopping to correct yourself. If you lose the word, describe it. If you forget the grammar, simplify. Just keep talking.
Record it on your phone. At the end of the week, listen back. I promise you will be amazed at your own progress and also maybe entertained because first sprints are something.
Oh, mine were embarrassing. But that's the point. You have to get through the embarrassing stage to reach the confident stage.
Sarah, let's talk about something that I think is really holding a lot of our listeners back. This idea that you have to wait until your English is good enough to start speaking.
Oh, this is huge. This is maybe the most common mistake I see. People say, I'll start speaking when I know more vocabulary. Or, I need to finish this grammar course first. That day never comes.
Because here's the reality. Your English will never feel good enough to you. Even advanced speakers doubt themselves. There will always be a word you don't know, a structure you're unsure about.
So waiting for ready is actually just choosing to stay stuck. The only way to get better at speaking is to speak, even imperfectly, especially imperfectly.
Think about how a baby learns to walk. They fall constantly, but they keep going. They don't sit down and watch walking tutorials for 6 months before attempting their first step.
Right. They fall, they get up, they wobble, and one day they walk, and then they run. The falling is not a failure. The falling is the training.
Every time you say something wrong in English and hear it out loud, your brain registers the error. It starts correcting itself automatically over time. But only if you give it the raw material, only if you speak.
So I want to say this directly to whoever needs to hear it. Your imperfect English is not a problem. It is proof that you are learning. Every mistake is a milestone, not a setback.
And most people you speak to, they respect the effort. They appreciate that you're trying. Nobody who is kind and decent is going to mock you for mispronouncing something.
And if they do, they're the problem, not you.
All right, we're getting close to the end of today's episode, and we can't let you go without leaving you with something concrete to take away and actually do.
So here's your challenge. We're calling it the 7-Day Speak Up Challenge. And it's so simple, there's literally no excuse not to do it.
Day 1 through 7. Every single day, you do these 3 things. Number 1. Morning comment. When you wake up, look around your room and say 3 sentences in English about what you see or feel. That's it, 3 sentences.
Number 2, use one phrase anchor in a real situation. If you're at work, at school, talking to anyone, find a moment to drop one of those phrases we mentioned. That's interesting. Let me think. What I mean is just one, real life.
And number 3, the 1-minute sprint before bed. Set your timer, pick a topic, talk, record it.
That's it. Morning comment, one phrase anchor, 1-minute sprint. 7 days. You will feel a difference. I can promise you that.
And if you want to go further, write in the comments or send us a message telling us how it went. We love hearing from our listeners, and sometimes we even feature stories in future episodes.
You've been listening to English Practice Lab. And if this episode gave you even a small push toward opening your mouth and trying, then our job is done.
Remember, fluency isn't about saying perfect things. It's about saying real things, connecting with people, expressing yourself. And that starts the moment you stop waiting and start talking.
We believe in you.
Until next time, keep speaking, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.